What do y'all? This your boy Cherry Speaks. I know I told you guys about the Flash season 5, episode 6, the Icicle Cometh. And man, this episode was so damn dope because we finally get confirmation as to what the hell's been happening with Caitlin Snow's father, Thomas Snow, and it was quite the gamble. I will say that it was quite the gamble because they finally figure out where he is in the North Dam cold as hell, and he's been pretty much just been isolated in this Tannhauser, shut down facility, where his most likely Caitlin finds out that her mother did that. But he ended up now, mind you, we also remember as well. I just want to add this in for addition. Caitlin's father had severe ALS, so Caitlin already went up in there thinking, "Oh man, my father may be dead. I might find his corpse or his bones or his remains." Right? It turns out he's actually still alive because he's been cryogenically freezing himself to keep himself alive. Not only that, but then also by cryogenically freezing himself, he's also stunted, his ALS. But in doing so, he's been experimenting with the cryogenic chamber and so forth, using stem cells to not only stunt the ASL but also experiment on himself and his daughter. We've come to find out because that way during the accident, that's actually what awakened Killer Frost because he's been experimenting on his daughter cryogenically since she was a little kid, as we saw in the Vibe flashback. And for Caitlin to figure that out, she just couldn't believe it because it turns out that the Thomases they've been talking to, Caitlin for that matter, because he collapsed outside when they were taking him for a walk, happened to be his dual personality. Just like Killer Frost, Thomas Snow, is Icicle. Icicle was in control of Thomas Snow. And even Icicle said when he was trying to go below Sub Zero to completely take control of Thomas Snow's body, he said, "Look, Thomas Snow has not been active for many years, and it's going to stay that way." Now, mind you, Caitlin even administered a cure for Icicle. And the funny thing about all this is the fact that while Killer Frost is having a showdown with Icicle, while Caitlin is begging for, her father, aka Icicle, to not kill her friends because everyone's going into homeostasis at this point. If you guys don't know what that is, that's when your body completely just shuts down. You turn into a fucking human icicle for real. Not even the species could run on ice. I mean, it was too damn cold. They couldn't get any friction. There was literally no fucking friction. There was no motion whatsoever. The molecules in the air everywhere around them were just too hardened and solid for them to even phase. I'm sorry, to vibrate, so then that way they can warm themselves up. It was just too damn cold. And so it's only when Kaylin comes face to face with Icicle that she reawakens Killer Frost for the time being to take down Icicle for like a little bit. But mind you, he actually flies away and he's off the grid now once again. And now they're trying to track him down somehow. And throughout the episode, Cisco was trying to tell Caitlin because he went back to the Townhauer facility where he was cryogenically stored for all those years, and he mistakenly vibed a chamber, an incubator, and that's when Cisco came back with information to tell Caitlin, like, listen, his story doesn't add up, has holes, like he's been saying previously. And Barry runs after him and tells him, like, look, man, this is his father, this is her father. Pretty much Caitlin echoing the same sentiments. But Cisco saying, look, Carrie, you gotta stop looking at this as a father and looking at it as a CSI. And that's only when they realize that what Icicle, aka Thomas Snow, was really up to. That's when Caitlin pretty much opened her eyes as well as Barry, and they were trying to stop him. Not only in this episode do we see that, which I think is pretty damn climactic if you ask me, we also see Ralph help Cecile get her mojo back in terms of being intimidating. Because they were looking for Joe to help them out, but Joe was out with Jenna. Speaking of which, I hope Jesse Martin is doing okay. We heard that he had to step out for his back. I hope he's doing all right. I hope he makes a speedy recovery as well. Hope to see him pretty soon, the Flash sometime soon. But and shout out to Grant Gustin, Candace Patton, Jessica Parker, Hartley Sawyer, Carlos Valdez, everyone, the whole cast, Tom Cavanaugh, the entire cast of The Flash, Daniel Panabaker, the entire cast of The Flash and the CW for making a great show. But then also, after Rolf helps Cecile get her mojo back, we learn a lot more stuff. So they're trying to track down Caitlin's father still. But then we also see a bit of a number with Cicada, where he's in the hospital and the nurse is like, "What the hell are you doing here?" Because we see in the very beginning of the episode, Cicada's at jitters. and we see this woman carrying coffee, and she tries to go outside the car, and so the dagger vibrates, and as if you haven't seen my theory video, I'll be sure to put it in my description box below for this video, where the dagger pretty much controls Cicada. He needs to feed the dagger pretty much to sustain his life and so forth. Now, mind you, Cicada got injured in that little fight with the woman with the little blades, right? And so, with that being said, he went to the doctor where he went to the hospital where his daughter Grace was held because she's in a coma. He's trying to get his daughter out because that's what that's what a parent does. They do anything they can to help their child. And so even Cicada says, "Look, Doc, don't worry about me. Worry about Grace. Make sure she's all right." And even Cicada said, "Look, Doc, you're not a part of this. Go make sure my daughter's okay." She's like, "Look, you know how many people I've treated with these injuries, because the metas keep attacking. The men that you saw in that bed was attacked by the same woman that you fought and took power from." And we saw Cicada even fall out towards the very end of the episode, pretty much unconscious. And then we see in the previews next week that he's pretty much holding his daughter. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's pretty much crying over his daughter. Pretty much just most likely apologizing for all the atrocities that he's committed as Cicada. Not only that, but then we see Nora holding her father too, crying like, "Dad, like, and it looks like Barry's down for the count." I look forward to seeing that episode as well. Another thing. Wow, man, this episode is just so much, man. So very much. But I think I pretty much covered about everything. Oh, not only no, I'm sorry, not no, I haven't. Another thing, I like the little nuances, the little name drops that Icicle dropped when they first went to the North Pole to figure out to find him and see if he was alive. He mentioned Harrison Wells, Victor Freeze, and someone else. I think maybe Nora Freeze as well. Victor Freeze's wife, as we all know him to be as Sub-Zero. So another DC Comics name drop and Batman reference right there for you guys. I really enjoyed that. I'm glad I caught that. I think I pretty much covered everything, man. This has been your boy Sherloque. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys have any requests as to what videos you guys want me to do next, let me know in the comment section below, man. This has been your boy Sherloque. Right now I'm watching Black Lightning as well. And it turns out Gambit is alive, and we're seeing a flashback of how he survived. So he went pretty much dove out of the car, and he made it look like, shit, he was killed. He even killed the guy who actually tried to kill him, and actually, Gambit did get some info, citing pretty much that the killer was paid via Bitcoin and so forth. So we see that Gambit reliving that flashback, and then not only that, I might as well just put my Black Lightning review in this as well, or just a small tad bit. But anyway, so Gambit activates. I'm sorry. So we see Lynn still dealing with the trauma of, having to kill and having to be. She's pretty much holding herself responsible for those dead kids in that center. Even though the crooked ass Dr. Jace did shit, but she's holding herself responsible because that's pretty much her op. That's pretty much what she was responsible for. And we see Anissa turn on her little tracker, and Gambit tracks. It's pretty much gonna be following her, and it looks like this is following up a lead. Because you remember last week, that at the very towards the end in the episode, interracial couple, and a father gets killed, and some liquid metal comes out of him, liquid lead comes out, and now we see Anissa being held by gunpoint, being surrounded pretty much. Looks like former metas, if you will, or maybe they're just protecting their facility and their property. This is some fucked up shit. So hopefully maybe Gambit or Black Lightning comes through to help them out. I hope. But I'll get back to you guys.